Welcome to another edition of the ETO Podcast. I am back, Joe Rodriguez with you, joined today, as always, by El Super Mojado.
What's up, man? How you doing?
And also joined by Ramon Chavez. ¿Qué onda, Ramon?
Hola, ¿cómo están? Saludos a todos.
All right, fellas, so today it's episode 110, and Hugo Bernal's not with us today because he decided to go fishing instead, so I'm here.
Ya, se fue de peda, güey. Di la verdad, se fue de peda.
Bueno, pues, el que se defienda después. So as I mentioned, guys, today is episode 110. Damn, time is just flying, but again, Ramon is back with us. Nice job, Ramon, with your pre-game show, post-game show you had with on Instagram Live regarding the South Korea and Mexico matchup. And obviously, that's going to be a bulk of our conversation. We want to give a quick shout-out to everybody out there for tuning in. Also, we want to remind everybody to follow us on our social media platforms at El Tri Online. And last but not least, remember to share today's episode on any of your social media accounts, whether it's Facebook, whether it's the link from YouTube on your Facebook, whether it's on tweeting, retweeting, and you're going to have a chance to win an ETO T-shirt. And what I was going to tell you guys really quick is that the people right here, and I'll be showing this list really quick, these four, Ada, Rodrigo, Eddie, and Agoseg are going to enter later on when we spin the wheel. One of them is going to win the ETO T-shirt, courtesy of us, El Tri Online, but handsomely made by our friends over at inchabrand.com. So again, guys, make sure that you guys send or share this episode, the link on your social media platforms, and we will make sure that if we give you guys a chance to win a really cool shirt. Guys, Super, you're rocking one, right?
Oh, yes.
This
is the original, but this is la original. But yeah, I have a few of them, so.
Bueno, pues. That's good. We like it when El Super Mojado is rocking the swag. And if you guys haven't seen him, I'm actually going to go ahead and put the website up right there. There you go. So again, it's going to be your option of whatever shirt you like. Okay, there it is. Look at that. The one that Super Mojado's wearing is the one right here on the left, the original. Then we have the Chilena, and white is also really cool. We have another 3-on-line one. This one's also a fan favorite. The Maya one or Azteca one I like very much. But then they also have the fire one. Así es que, okay, enough promotion, guys. Enough promotion. We got to get the show started. Ramon Chavez, let's talk about the Mexican national team and how they fared against South Korea. So please, you watched the game very closely, and I want you to tell me what you liked the most about the Mexican national team this last Saturday.
I think one of the things that I really enjoyed was the fact that this team, I think, is changing. Like, there's always a perception that the Mexican team, if they don't get going early, they're just not going to get the game plan together. In the second half, we obviously saw the first half was a really frustrating half for the Mexican team. South Korea fell back. It reminded me of those CONCACAF qualifiers where we see that Trinidad and Tobago and all these small nations just fall back and defend with 11 people. So it was really tough for Mexico with El Tri-Dente and Cordova and Charlie Rodriguez to get their game going like how they were planning. But we saw in the second half a change of pace, a change of attitude. Basically, their mentality was they locked in and they were able to break between those South Korean lines and eventually, score like 3 times in less than 3 minutes. So it was a very exciting thing to see because we need these games in order to prepare these players for the high-stake games that are going to come up in the next few years. So I think this was a really good example of Tata Martino's excellent coaching and the fact that these players are having a change of mentality where they're not just giving up and shrugging their shoulders and saying it's a friendly. They want to win these games. And that's one of the things that I saw on Saturday. And it was a great thing to see, and I hope to see it more in the future.
Super.
Well, yeah, it was just like we thought it was going to be. It was going to be complicated. We know that the Asian teams are they're getting better, and they're very defensive. They know how to defend very well, and they showed that to Mexico the whole first half. And that goal that Mexico, took against the first half, it was, somewhat an error of the goalkeeper. I think he could have done a lot more when that ball came in right by him. Like I said, he could have done a lot more. I don't agree with Hugo Gonzalez being in the national team. I don't know what he has done that gives him that. I don't know.
Es el compadre de alguien, ¿no? De seguro.
Sí, es lo que pensaba, but anyways, I think that yes, la puntería les estuvo fallando left and right, and I think that it's some of those opportunities that they had, like that one where Tecatito had in like around the 15th minute. That's a clear goal, man. You cannot miss a shot like that, and he had two opportunities, because the rebound it came right back to him. So I don't know if it was like estaban muy confiados or what happened with them in the first half, but they, like I said, thankfully they recovered in the second half, and because of Tata Martino's experience, and he made the substitutions at the right moment. And these guys that come in, they're in a good moment with their teams. Orbelin Pineda and Antuna.
Right.
I think that they're getting their game back to where they were playing in a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So I think that made a whole change to the game. These guys came con hambre de goal and to put in their 2 cents into this game. So that's really, really helpful and trying to show that they can be a starter too, because that's a great opportunity to show not just to Tata Martino, but to maybe European teams that
right.
They're good players.
Yeah.
So I overall I liked it, and it's just that definition that left me with a little like a bittersweet flavor.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit more about El Tri-Dente, right? What I want to know from you guys is what did you guys like the most about it, but also I want to get you guys' rating. But before you guys actually give me you guys' rating and let me know what you guys liked about El Tri-Dente, I want you guys to take a look at this graphic. So this was made courtesy by our ETO Stats and Research team. And basically here what we did is we broke down the Trident, right, against South Korea. And Tecatito Corona played 54 minutes. Chucky Lozano, I believe he played, 81, Ramon?
Around there, yeah.
But anyway, and only Jimenez played the entire game. But look at the amount of touches that Tecatito had. He had 91 touches. Lozano had 100. And obviously, as we all know, Corona ended up leaving the game because of that, slight injury. But he also had 31 passes, 24 of them on target, and two shots overall, both of them on target. But he failed to convert. And then for his part, Jimenez, 6 shots, one of them on target, but that one was on goal, obviously. And for his part, Chucky Lozano had 8 shots. Only 2 of those were on target. All of them did end up creating opportunities for the Mexican team. So, fellas, now that you have the number right there, break it down. So, Ramon, let's start with you. Tell me what you like the most about this Mexican team.
No, it's obvious. They meet the eye test. They obviously the numbers are there to back it up. This Tri-Dente has chemistry, and that's why they're out there right now. Jimenez working the post. Like, here's the thing about the Tri-Dente that I really enjoy. They're not exclusive to their own side of the field. So, for example, Jimenez is not only staying in the middle of the box, Tecatito on the left side or the right side. They are changing constantly, which gives a complexity and a fluidity to the front three of this Mexican team that's very hard to defend. Because if Jimenez drops down a little bit or switches to the side and Lozano goes inside, like how he had played in Napoli before as the number one striker, it just gives a lot of options to the Mexican team. And again, the numbers are there to back it up. These three like to play with each other. They know how to move. With Lozano, streaking down the sidelines, Tecatito maneuvering with his dribbling, and of course, Jimenez dropping down. I think one of the underrated things about Jimenez is his passing, his vision, that when he holds the ball for a quick second, he always knows where everybody is on the field. And so obviously, with the talent such as Chucky Lozano and Tecatito on the field, it's just a matter of continuing to put them out there. And the definition that Super was talking about will eventually show up. And we saw it. They created a lot of opportunities. Key passes were being passed. And, of course, unfortunately, they didn't score, the amount of goals that we want them to, that we know they can do.
Right.
But that will come with more time and more practice. And I think this is a really good sight to see. And there's nothing but good things that can come out of this.
Right. Super, before you go, I want to give a couple of quick shout-outs to our friends that are tuning in. Abraham Diaz, saludos. He says, I think that all of us can see the potential of the national team, but one of the things that we see is their chemistry. The more they play together, they'll be better prepared for the World Cup qualifying games. Gerardo Fisher says, saludos a Gerardo Fisher and all of our Texas viewers and fans. So, okay, Super Mojado, go ahead.
Overall, I did like them. Once again, I'm gonna go back to what I said about La Punteria. That's what they're lacking on. You cannot have some of those opportunities that they had in a World Cup, because against a better team, they just kind of massacre you. They're
no
not
puedes
gonna forgive
perdonar,
you
no
about
puedes
those.
perdonar.
No puedes perdonar, man. So when you have those opportunities, you have to finish them. And the talent that these guys have, I know that they can do it. Like I said, I don't know if it was just because it's a friendly game and it's kind of like una cascarita. They're just playing. Maybe they're confident on the talent they have and not taking it serious. Because when they were all three on the field, no pasó nada. No pasó nada. And Jimenez's goal, that was not even like fue una tipo Chicharito. Let's put it that way.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because the way he hit that ball, dude, it was like he hit it wrong.
I have to disagree with you there, Super. If you go back on that play, you can see Jimenez clearly look for the space behind the defender and he made that sprint. I know it wasn't the best definition, of course, but he read the play.
And how does Chicharito score most of his goals? He found
that's the
the
thing
right
about Jimenez.
space.
Jimenez can do what Chicharito does.
And then fue como una machucada nada más. He didn't even hit the ball right. And that's just my opinion. Go back and see the play again. I was just looking at it, right. It was in front of me right now, so that's why I can elaborate a little more. And so, anyways, like I said, they had some great passes. They had some good moments throughout the game, but nothing really happened with all three on the pitch, except
and Super, I agree with you. Yeah.
Yes, they just kept on missing opportunities.
But hold on, guys. Hold on. Really quick, Ramon, I'll let you have your word. But really quick, Super Mojado says that they did not do anything. But the truth of the matter is that in the first half, of all those opportunities that were created, those 12 shot attempts that were made, yes, they did not capitalize, right? They did not score. But everything went through them. Because everybody else in the first half was non-existent. That's what I saw. Go ahead.
Well, and I agree with you. And I agree with you, Joe. I talked about it in the preview before the game that I really wanted Charlie Rodriguez and Sebastián Córdoba to be the highlights of this team.
Yeah.
Work the middle and provide these passing lanes to these three. But unfortunately, they were not in tune in this game. I'm not sure it was because they're not used to playing in that position or just not in a good form. But like you're saying, Joe, everything did go through the three. Now, Super is absolutely right. These three guys are not, executing like we expect them to because we know they're all great individual talents. But like I said earlier, with time, it's going to happen. Now, how much time is it going to take? Hopefully, it's going to be the next game, right? We've already seen El Tri-Dente twice, or the first time, and we've seen Jimenez and Tecatito in the last European games. So I think it's just a little bit more time, a little bit more chemistry, and eventually they're going to start executing in these games.
Yeah. Really quick, Super, before we move on, I want to give a couple of more shout-outs. Bill Mann, watching us on YouTube, he says, "Hey, guys, just found your podcast." Well, welcome, Bill Mann. Saludos. Thank you for tuning in. Gerardo Fisher wants to know if the World Cup was today, is Chicharito out of the squad? That's a good one. I think he's out. I don't know what you guys think.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think so too. There's a lot of more strikers right now that are in a good moment. Like
I think Henry Martin would be in instead of him.
Yes, Henry Martin, even Pulido. Pulido, I think he's doing a lot better than Chicharito right now. And
that would give him plenty of time for commercials though, so Chicharito can make money.
But I mean, don't underestimate these guys. These guys just they don't have nothing to prove to us, to anyone.
Right.
They have the talent, and if they can recover their game, for sure. Even Tata was talking about them, and during his press conference, that he said, "Hey, don't mix up like Chicharito and Velas," because they asked him both questions about both players, and it was like, it's different situations. Chicharito right now it was my decision to leave him out. He's not playing good. And Vela, I talked to him at the beginning. He said no, and I haven't contacted him again since.
Yeah, I don't think he's talked to him in the last 2 years.
Around, he doesn't need to, especially with all the talent that we have around right now. So like I said, but Chicharito, I think that if he can recover his game, he's definitely going to be in the World Cup.
Really quick, guys. So, again, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We want to remind all of you guys to make sure that if you guys share today's episode on any of your social media platforms, you're going to have a chance to win an ETO T-shirt. I'm going to show that T-shirt to you guys right here. It can be any one of your options right here from the Incha Clothing Brand store. Really cool T-shirts, one of the 6 right there. And also, I want to remind everybody from the people who shared the episode last week, these 4 individuals, Eddie Reese, Rodrigo Aceves, Agoseg, and Ada Casiano. We're going to be spinning that wheel momentarily, and we're going to give one of them a very cool ETO T-shirt. All right. So again, all you got to do is make sure that you guys share today's episode on any of your social media platforms, retweet, what have you. So also, if you haven't or not, make sure that you follow us on all of our social media platforms at El Tri Online. Anyway, I want to go really quick into El Tata Martino because I think that this game said a lot about him. And basically, you saw a game where Mexico was dominated in the first half, like for sure the first 20 minutes of the game, right? It was such a one-sided game. 68% possession for Mexico in the first half overall. But then one strike, right? One counter from South Korea, and boom, they're down 1-0. Okay? They went to the half, to the locker rooms, 1-0 down. Then things obviously worked in favor of El Tata Martino. So, Super Mojado, what does this comeback say about Tata Martino as a mágico, as a táctico, as a tactician, as they call him?
Well, I told you, man. I think that he has a lot of experience. He's a coach that has been in front of big club teams and selecciones. So I think that this guy, there's a reason why they, Barcelona, he coached Barcelona, Argentina, because he has all that táctica. And let's not forget about what he did with Atlanta United. This guy has a lot of experience, and he knows how to move his pieces, and he sees everything that we don't in the training. And he said, I'm gonna put these 2 guys in, and it changed the game. It worked for him, because Orbelin and Antuna participated in, I think, all of the goals, right? I mean, if I'm not correct, or at least two of the goals. So I think that it says a lot about Tata Martino. And I wasn't really a fan when they brought him into la selección.
Ya te ganó el corazón.
Not necessarily. We'll still gotta wait and see in the World Cup, because you can we've seen this before where you can win everything in La CONCACAF and then you get to the World Cup and nothing happens.
Right.
So
all right,
I'm still waiting.
Okay. Well, Ramon, before we move on, I want to give a couple of more quick shout outs. Saludos. Alberto Trejo dice, ¿Japón o México? Come on, Albert. Let's see. Bill Man dice, is Antuna becoming the next Gio Dos Santos? By this, I mean, he does all right with his club, but seems to step up his game when he plays with the national team. Okay. That's interesante. What do you think, Ramon?
I mean, I think so. He doesn't like scoring too much for Chivas for some reason, but yeah, when he plays with the Mexican team, it's something about it. Maybe just being with his pals and his friends and just being comfortable. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, he's definitely creating a pattern with the national team.
¿Qué piensas, Super?
Well, yeah, I think
te quedaste bien pensativo, right? What's going on in there?
Estaba pensando Chicharito.
No, I think he's a good player. I think that he's still young. He still has a lot to give and a lot to learn. I think that we can't start put him in a pedestal and thinking that he's gonna become a great player and let's take it slow. No hay que inflarlo. He's shown that he has talent. Con la selección is not the first time he shows that he can score, that he can be an asset to the team because very fast. Esa banda derecha, man, he's
shredding it.
Yes. So I think that, like I said, let's take it slow. Let's not try to make him to be the next superstar in Mexico.
Let's not make him out to be the next Super Mojado, okay? That's it. But
solo hay uno, Super Mojado solo hay uno.
But Ramon, let's dive in a little bit more into Antuna, and I think that for me, first of all, I was pleased that he finally scored against a non-CONCACAF team, right? Because
right.
Look, all jokes aside, it's true. That's what we were seeing, right? Excellent performance versus Haiti. Excellent performance against a lot of the other Central American teams, CONCACAF teams, what have you. But having him, seeing him score against an opponent outside the CONCACAF region is a big thing. What do you make of that?
I mean, it shows the growth as a player. He's still young, like Super saying, and the first glimpse of him that I really got to see was in the Gold Cup last year. I believe he had a few goals against Cuba, and it was like the 7-0. And like you're saying, he's expanding his repertoire. He's being given these chances, and whenever he's on the field, he's executing, which is one of the things that the Mexican team is lacking right now. So I'm happy for it. Like Super saying, let's hold our expectations of this guy. He's not a superstar. He's definitely not a starter on the national team. But with more work and definitely more playing time with Chivas and the national team, we'll see what happens. Obviously. I'm not sure what to make of him being, bought by Manchester City, but, if that says something, someone saw something in him, and obviously it's just giving him a little bit more time to grow as a player.
Yeah.
Yes, and not just as a player, but as a human, because let's not forget that he made a few mistakes with Chivas, and yo creo que se le subió la cabeza.
Something about that team.
Se le subió la cabeza coming to... No, but it goes together. It goes hand on hand, man. If you are, tienes la cabeza enfocada, I think that you can achieve great things as a player, because the talent, he has it. He has shown that he has the talent. He's fast. Yeah. He has tiene gol, and like I said, let's just wait and see what happens with him, and not throw him into the... And another thing that you said, Joe, le metió gol a un equipo que no es de la CONCACAF, but it's South Korea, man. I don't see a big difference over there.
Yeah, it's not that great of an achievement either. But...
So we still have to see, what he's going to do with Germany,
Super,
France, Italia.
Bien negativo, Super.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a short little break. When we come back, we're going to dive into Mexico versus Japan. So Do not go anywhere. Super Mojado, Ramon Chavez, and myself, Joe Rodriguez. Ahorita regresamos y vamos a regalar la camiseta de ETO to a lucky winner. Okay, so we'll be right back. Do not leave. Welcome back, everybody, to the ETO Podcast. I'm Joe Rodriguez. Again, if you guys want to purchase any ETO merchandise, please visit inchabrand.com. Check out how they're making that nice shirt from scratch. It's going to be made as soon as you order, so make sure that you guys visit inchabrand.com to get any of those T-shirts. But first, I'm back here with Ramon Chavez and Super Mojado. Fellas, Ramoncito, ¿ya ordenaste tu playera o qué onda, man?
I haven't yet, man. I gotta go in there right after the show.
Wait,
El Super dice que tiene 20, que me mande una.
¿Dónde está el boo? ¿Dónde está el boo? Ah, no, ese no. I'm messing up with all the sound effects. Ahí está. There's the boo. Anyway, so guys, let's talk about Japón before we wrap things up here. So Japan and Korea, what would you say the biggest difference is between the two? Super, let's start with you.
Well, I don't see a big difference. I think they're pretty similar. And Japan, it's a team that has been consistent in the World Cups, you know, and they have shown that just as Korea, that they are competitive. And when it comes to a tournament like that, let's not forget that South Korea made it already to a semifinal, right? And if correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, and Japón hasn't given like too bad of impressions during World Cups. So I think that they're two teams that are growing as national teams, and I think that defensively that's key for them. You know, they don't allow a lot of goals. So, but again, it's they're growing and they're still not quite there like in the you know to achieve the level of teams like in Europe, but their continente is not so much different than la CONCACAF. They're teams that they're both son zonas que they lack on, you know, power.
Do you guys think that the order of power in confederations, it's Europe, South America, and then everybody else?
Yeah, that's how it is, man. You know, that's where you have.
What do you think? I saw you shaking your head, Ramon. What are you thinking?
I mean, in terms of power, I would put CONCACAF number 3. Right behind that, I put Africa, and then we would have the Asian.
You think
team.
that CONCACAF is more powerful than Africa?
I think so. Yeah. Oh. I think just Mexico and the U.S. alone, I think can go toe to toe with anybody in Africa. I don't think that's an issue.
What do you think, Super? Do you think that the Mexicans and the Americans can take on pretty much all the African teams?
Well, they've shown it, and si vas a los resultados and the times that they have faced each other, yeah, they're los superan por mucho, you know. My
concern is I mean, I see what you guys are going with, but my concern is this: the amount of talent that has invaded Europe from Africa is out of this world, man. They have so many African players.
I mean, if you really want to dive into it, Joe, you know, might as well call the France team, you know,
exactly.
Africa B.
Exactly.
You know, all of their players are basically African descent, and that's not a detriment to France or the players.
Of course
that
not.
are
No.
choosing to play for France, but it's obviously, you know, the immigration patterns and creating great footballers. So when you combine, you know, the African players and the France system, that's what you get. You get a powerhouse.
Yeah.
But that's worldwide, man. We have. we're in a world now that people move around all the time, and they go to different countries all the time. And the same thing, look what happens to the U.S. national team. Es una selección, ahora sí que, like a
Naciones Unidas.
Mundial. This is las Naciones Unidas.
I mean,
Thank you.
If you watch the game today, there was you have Gio Reyna, you have Musa. There's no John Smith in the U.S. national team. It's always something from another country. But
there's no
which
Juanito
is great.
Smith
It's a melting pot.
All right,
no,
guys.
there is Juanito Smith, pero no.
All right, let's talk about Japan then. So, Ramon, so what are the things that you think Mexico needs to do, or they need to improve tomorrow, in order for them to get a much more convincing? Because I'm assuming that neither of you two were convinced with the result from Saturday. So, what do they need to do?
So the first thing I want to say is that Japan is a much better team than South Korea. They have more players in Europe. They have their actual players on the team. If you recall, South Korea was missing their entire defense, their number one goalkeeper, and besides Son, South Korea really had nobody else in the front. So that's the one thing I want the Mexican fans to remember. Also, like Super was saying earlier, Japan, is not to be taken lightly. In the last World Cup, they were minutes away from beating Belgium. And that comes because of teamwork. These guys never give up. They're technically sound, tactically sound, and they know how to play the game. They've made big strides since the 2002 World Cup, where both Japan and South Korea hosted. And so, the things that I'm looking forward to as far as Mexico is obviously the defense. That's the one thing that is increasingly worrying me as more games happen. That we saw it against the Netherlands, we saw it against Algeria, we saw it against South Korea, where there's always either a mental lapse in the defense, or they give a pass, away easily, or they're not in the transitions back from defense. They don't get back on time. Obviously, things are going to be different in La Porteria, because Memo Ochoa, I believe, is scheduled to play this game, and we'll see if he's able to do a little bit more as far as talking to his players and making sure that everybody's connected. I noticed that Super was talking about Hugo Gonzalez earlier, and I don't think Hugo Gonzalez is ready to or should come back to the national team. When you saw him against South Korea, he was timid with the ball. He didn't know where to place the passes. Tata Martino is one of the coaches that really want the keepers to not just kick the ball to the other side of the half. They want the keepers to control the pace of the game and play with the midfielders and the defense in order to move the ball from the back. And you didn't see that from Hugo Gonzalez. The first goal as well, he could have done a lot better. So, starting with the defense, I want that to improve, the midfielders to take a hold of the midfield. And obviously, I don't think El Tridente will play. I think Tecatito, like you're saying, is injured. But definitely Chucky Lozano and Jimenez, we'll see if they're able to do. I don't think the Chucky is scheduled to start. I think we're going to see Pizarro, but hopefully he can come in the second half and make some noise.
Now, you said Ochoa. You mentioned Ochoa. He's in this?
Yeah.
I thought it was.
No, Ochoa is. He was in the convocatoria.
Talavera's injured. He didn't come in.
Right. It was Talavera that got hurt in the last Pumas game. So, all right, Super. So, what about you? So, what do you think is the biggest improvement that needs to take place?
Well, I agree with Ramón that la defensiva tienen que ponerle más, ya sabemos, producto de gallina. And overall, man, tienen que afinar la puntería, el Raúl Jiménez, I say time and time again, I think he needs to prove himself a lot more than what he's already shown in la selección. En su club es un fenómeno, and he's the superstar over there, but when he comes to la selección, man, he just
not convincing you.
No, he doesn't convince me. And
harsh critic here, el Super Mojado.
No, y tiene que tomar ahora sí que los toros por los cuernos, because he's supposed to be like the face of la selección right now.
Yeah, there were talks of him being the captain, and yeah, exactly. I agree.
Dude, he doesn't show it. So
okay. So that's the demand from El Super Mojado, Ramon. Fair enough. All right. So now the most important thing predictions, fellas. All right. El que pierda lava los platos. So Ramon, I'll let you go first. What is your prediction for tomorrow?
Man.
Give me score.
Well,
Give me all right.
tough.
I'll tell you what, fellas. Okay.
Make it interesting.
Yeah. Whoever ends up winning, whoever ends up getting the closest. All right.
Nos vas a rapar, ¿no? Así en la cabeza.
No. I'm gonna give an ETO T-shirt on your guys' behalf. All right.
Okay.
All right. So go ahead. So el marcador and who scores the goals.
Man, it's going to be tough. So Japan played against Panama on Friday, and they barely won, I believe, 1-0. But then Panama lost 6-2 today to the USA. So I don't know what we're seeing from the Japanese team. I'm going to go with 2-0. I'm gonna say Jimenez. And let's see. I'm going to go with the goal from ETO Alvarez. So we haven't seen him in a while. So Jimenez and Alvarez.
All right, Super. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, I said 2-0 last week, but I think I'm going to give them more. 3-0 favor Mexico. And I think that Jimenez is going to score again para que me va a escuchar, que le tiene que echar más producto de gallina. And se va a meter otro gol. I see Chucky Lozano scoring and possibly Pizarro, man. I think that he's going to play. I agree also. And I think that he's going to... Se va a mostrar también. Así que 3-0.
All right. I think it's going to be 3-1 Mexico. Again, another 3-1 victory for Mexico. I don't think that the defense is going to hold them to 0. The defense is really shaky, so that's my prediction. And then I think it's going to be a goal from Jimenez. And also you're going to get a goal from probably one of the midfielders. Maybe Pizarro will get a goal. And then
Orbelín.
I was thinking about Orbelín. But no, actually I see Jimenez getting 2 goals. So Jimenez gets 2 goals. If I get all the prediction, entre ustedes dos me compro una playera a mí. All right. So speaking of playeras, fellas, let's go ahead and give away this playera that we've been waiting for. So again, los nombres aquí los tenemos. It's Eddie Reese, Rodrigo Aceves, and Agoseg. So Super Mojado, let's go ahead and spin the wheel, if you will. Ahí va. All right, here we go. Y el ganador es...
It's spinning.
Agoseg. Congratulations, Agoseg. She is the winner. So she gets none other than the ETO T-shirt. Actually, let's go back and let's take a look at the one that... There you go. Ahí está, esas 4. All right. So it's been 6. Ay, ya se me olvidó contar. So those 6 T-shirts. So Agoseg, if you're watching, make sure that you send us a message on Instagram or Facebook or wherever, and let us know where you want us to ship it out to and the color that you like. Again, you can buy these over there at hinchabrand.com. If you haven't bought yours, Ramon, we're still waiting for you to get yours and pick yours up. Pero chavos, se nos acabó el tiempo. We want to give a shout out to everybody here that tuned in. Bill Mann, Nate, thank you very much for tuning in, watching us. Hopefully you come back. Saludos a Abraham de nuevo. He says the way they played against Korea, he thinks Japan might be an easier team to beat. Hopefully they can also swap around players and defense. I agree. And Bill Mann says 2-0 Mexico, Chucky Antuna. Ande canijo. So, guys, that is all the time we have for today. Super Mojado, you get a virtual clap porque te portaste bien. Any final words, Ramon?
No, looking forward to the game tomorrow. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. Thank you so much for supporting ETO. Definitely check out our Hincha brand store. Get your gear, let your friends and your family know. And we'll see you for the next podcast. We'll talk about Japan and see how Mexico did against them. Thank you for tuning in.
Super.
Just the same thing, man. And hopefully the fans can start sharing this podcast and get their opportunity to win a T-shirt, just like Agoseg today. So congratulations to Agoseg.
Congratulations, as you mentioned, to Agoseg. And again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Make sure that you guys let everybody know about, I want to say, the #1 Mexican soccer show in English or Spanglish or Espanol.
Okay. I see it.
On behalf of Ramon Chavez and El Super Mojado, which is going to be debuting his brand new mascara pretty soon, I am Joe Rodriguez. Thank you all very much for your loyalty. Please take care of yourselves and each other. And let Kobe out of your life, man. All right. Cuídense.
Nice.